Hello, this is Manny again, and today I'm going to be doing coffee, but I'm going to do it on the Turkish pot. And I got this one on Amazon. This is, I believe, a medium-size Turkish coffee pot. It's made out of, I think, a mixture of alloys between copper and possibly tin. But this is what you're going to need in order to make a good Turkish coffee. And so what makes the Turkish coffee? Well, it's Turkish coffee from the research that I've done on the coffee itself. It's the brewing process that gives it the name the Turkish coffee, but it's very fine ground coffee. Now here I'm using a spice grinder. I found this one on Amazon as well. All of the links to these products I'll put them on the description on YouTube, so you guys can actually go and research if you want to buy it and experiment yourself, or if you really like Turkish coffee, which involves a little bit of process in order to do, but honestly it's well worth it. I never thought that having a straight just black coffee by itself, it's not a lot. You usually end up with a couple of ounces only, a little bit less probably, but it's smooth and it's nothing but pure ground, fine ground coffee. In here I'm using 7 grams, and what I'm gonna do in a little bit is I'm gonna fill the Turkish coffee pot to 2 ounces, and I like to pre-measure everything just so I can have consistency. And if you're one of those persons that after a while develops the muscle memory and you can remember what 2 ounces feels like, then great for you. You know, I don't have that much memory these days. So so yeah, I'm gonna take about 2 ounces right here, and let me get that. As a matter of fact, while the video is recording, I'm using some filtered water. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill my pot with 2 ounces of water. Now, from what I've been told is that you don't want to have the pot right on the edge. Which one is it? There we go. You don't want to have the pot right in the center here, because you're not going to build a consistent burn to it. I think I have it too high here. I'm going to lower just the flame a little bit. It's not a rush job here. What you're trying to do is you're trying to boil these fine grounds into just the right temperature where you're gonna see it frothing, and that's how you know when when you see that process taking place, then that's when you immediately kill the flame. What I'm doing right now is you probably can't see it on the camera, but I'm getting my grounds off the spice grinder. There's a certain tendency for the fine grounds to kind of like stick to the sides of the walls, and that's because of the fine oils in the coffee. And again, this coffee is fresh, very fresh. It's Vietnamese. I took this one to a particular profile of a medium roast. So this is going to be the first time I'm experimenting with a medium roast and sampling the Vietnamese in a Turkish in the Turkish pot. So in a little bit I'm gonna get to find out how it tastes. So again, this is the Vietnamese. As you can see, it's a very light, color. Not usually like I like the dark roast again, but on this particular case, I'm ooh, that flame is hot. So what I'm gonna do is put this to the side for right now, so I don't burn my my skin off. I want to smell coffee, not chicharrones. So, trying to get most of this off. Again, this is the Spice Grinder's top. I like this particular one because it has a push button on it, and it's very easy to use. I still got a little bit more built up over here, but you see how it builds up? That's what happens when it's really, really fine. So again, I only use the 8 ounces on here. And what I've been told is from a few folks is that, like, yeah, you don't want to mix. And I don't know. I've had a few people say, yeah, you want to give it a little stir on the coffee, so it can build. It can actually, I guess, boil evenly. So I just usually do a little stir at the beginning, but I noticed that you don't need to do it as much. Now while this is going, I'm going to kind of show you. You see kind of like how it's starting to get a little bit frothy. And that's what you want. Eventually it's going to froth up pretty much. And while this is going on its own, again, it's very, very tasty. But what I'm going to do is, I've had it on its own, and I really like it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use milk. And with that milk whisk over there, that red device that you see, I'm gonna create a topping. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down here for a second again. I can hear the coffee going. Yep, it's still good. And what I'm gonna do is, let me get my milk, and then the milk, I'm actually only gonna do half a cup. And I'm using whole milk for this, and it's only going to be half a cup. Let me see if yep, there it is. Half a cup. Well, this is looking good. And my milk, as you can see, I got a thermometer on it too, right there. I'm gonna put my milk on the little kettle here. Again, this is only half a cup, and I'm gonna boil this to only 140 degrees. Not the wrong one. 140 degrees. I'm going to put the links for the thermometer and everything as well on the Facebook. But notice how you're already getting kind of like on one side, you are getting the this frothy feel, and a little bit it's going to climb up. And once it does, then that coffee is ready. This is a European style cappuccino cup. And why is it European? Because it actually holds the 6 ounces perfectly. And so I was gonna use the European espresso, like the espresso shot cup, but knowing that I'm gonna be using a frothed milk on top, I need a little bit of room for. Oh, you see how it's kind of like building up already. You gotta keep an eye on this, because it only takes about 4 minutes, really 4 or 5 minutes, to get that result. And once you get that result, you just really want to kill the flame. Put your base in the cappuccino cup, froth your milk, and add it to your cappuccino cup. So while this is going on, let me see, make sure that this doesn't go over. We are at 80. We're good. This one is still frothing. We're at a 100 over here. And what causes the froth over here is, you know, again on this fresh roasted coffees, there's a lot of essential oils, which I keep on mentioning over and over in other videos. But these essential oils are this is what you smell. This is what you taste on fresh coffee, and for those people that have actually had the experience of having good coffee, you know what I'm talking about. And there's absolutely no way that you're gonna try to ever compare coffee with you know, a fast food or a convenience store coffee to good coffee. So let's see, we are at 120. This one's almost pretty much done, and we're still waiting on this one here. Somebody delivered something in the door, but oh well, we'll let them wait. I wish there was a better angle that I can get the Now here it looks like we're already at almost at our 140 and our 140 mark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the flame, and what I'm gonna do is take the thermometer off, and using the frother here is I'm gonna froth my milk. I like to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Very carefully. Again, this is hot. This is 140 degrees. But if you notice, my milk is already frothing up, nice and frothy. And you can add, if you want, sugar to your coffee if you like. It's all up to you. And so here we have nice, good frothed milk. I like it nice and frothy where you're getting thick. Get that oxygen build up in there. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to put this on the sink. I'm gonna kill the, interestingly enough, I didn't get the result that I usually get on the froth. Maybe I need to put a little bit more coffee in there. Again, the Turkish coffee doesn't use no filter, no nothing. It's just very, very strong coffee. Okay, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my froth to it. Oopsie daisy. There you go. Still got a lot of cream left over here. I'll add it in a bit. And I like to top it off with some of this cocoa powder. that in this particular case, this one is Dutch processed. I got this one at Amazon too. It has a really good flavor to it, but you can use any cocoa powder in order to garnish your coffee. Let me see if I can get this one. And there you have it, folks. Your delicious cup of coffee. Well, I'm going to pause this for a second while I sample it, taste it, and then I'll come back and let you all know how this process came about and how it was, and as far as flavor and everything. Be right back. So going back to the coffee, it's absolutely amazing, really delicious. I actually did a little bit more topping of the whole milk, the frothed whole milk, and I had a little bit left of coffee too as well. So I add a little bit more sugar, and I'm sampling with like sugar now, and it's just simply amazing. One thing that, as far as the flavor is, it's really, really good. One thing that I'm paying attention to for in this particular case for the Turkish process, the grain or the ground that I made was not fine enough, and so what I end up having is a little bit of, that's what you see here is chocolate, but I ended up having a little bit of smaller pieces of chunkier coffee, which makes your experience, a little bit kind of disappointed, because you're expecting that silky consistency that comes in the Turkish coffee. So in my particular case, it's that type of grinder that I have. It's okay perhaps for spices, but when it comes down to the coffee beans, and especially grinding a small amount of coffee beans, like 7 to 10 grams, which is it's pretty standard for a 1 cup of coffee, more or less. It just doesn't do a good job. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna experiment a little bit more with figuring out how to get a really, really, really good, fine method of grinding my coffee beans. And once I do that, I'll probably make another video showing again the Turkish pot process. But again, as far as flavor wise, I mean, it's amazing. It's really amazing, and it's more amazing when you actually manage to try it done correctly, where you have this really fine consistency of a ground on your coffee grounds, and it's really, really, really smooth and flavorful. And the funny part is that it's not even it's not filtered. You're drinking the entire grounds and everything. So of course it has a lot more caffeine content, because now you're adding the pretty much the bean into your system too as well now, which is not a bad thing at all. But again, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any suggestions on how I can improve the Turkish grind, I know I forget the name of the gentleman that I got some good pointers from last time, and if you're listening to this, thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, and it really helped out a lot. So I've been learning a lot more about the Turkish process. And for everybody else, if you have any suggestions, ideas, questions, and something that can help us out make some better Turkish coffee, please share. Have a good one, everybody.